Hi everyone. In this video, I'll be presenting my research paper titled Uncertainty Quantification using Variational Inference for Segmenting Brain Tumors. In this work, we propose a novel network using a kind of generative model which which not only is able to segment the tumors in the brain, while at the same time it is able to give the uncertainty estimates, which is comprised of both the alloteric as well as the epistemic uncertainty. As a brief summary, we have used Bayesian neural network here. So this in turn helps in giving uncertainty quantifications while doing the segmentation. We borrow the architecture from variational inference concept. So basically, there are two types of uncertainty here. One is the alloteric, and the second is the epistemic uncertainty. Like going over the data set, we have used the commonly used Bratz data set for brain tumor segmentation. So here is some sample of a brain MRI slice as well as the ground truth. So uh, we did data augmentation to increase the size of the data set. So some of the operators that we performed was rescaling, then rotation, shifting in both the height and the width directions, changing the intensity as well as changing the brightness. Going over the network details, we have an encoder here, we have a decoder here. We feed a distribution which is comprised of a mean and sigma. Here, W denotes the weights of the input distribution. Z is the sample to the lattice space distribution, and similarly, we have the mu and the sigma of the so this W's means that the reconstructed here, and then there we have a backward pass here. Uh, like going over the complete algorithm, here we have a data set comprised of inputs and labeled data pairs. So there is a posterior distribution also which we feed as input to our network. The in Another is we also feed an encoder and decoder which is comprised of similar probabilistic distributions. So while the network is not, so we train a network by sampling a mini batch of data points, and then we sample some weights with given by some reparameterization term. We at the same time we sample some latent variables with reparameterization, and finally we compute the gradients of the objective, which is given by this equation. And finally we use gradient descent to find the values, updated values of the parameters. As an output, we get the posterior distribution. So this posterior distribution uh, is not only able to like give the segmentation, while it's also able to get the uh, quantifying how much certain network is while doing the segmentation stuff. So we have some experimental details here, some details of hyperparameters. We also present loss functions. So here we have used a combination of two loss functions. One is a binary cross entropy loss function. The other is a famously used dice loss, which is commonly used in many kinds of semantic segmentation architectures. So we got these values, which we found the best. Uh, these are the parameter values. The combined loss function is presented here. As for the evaluation metrics, we use two commonly used metrics. One is the DSC, the dissimilarity coefficient. The second is the IOU, intersection over union. So the evaluation metrics are presented using these equations. We plot the accuracy versus data distribution of a network for quantifying uncertainty. So here we have used three kinds of uncertainty quantification methods. One is the MC dropout method, which is defined using this equation. The other is deep ensemble method, and the third is ensemble MC dropout. So as you can see, like uh, the plot of accuracy versus retained data. So the accuracy falls very sharply with increase in retained data in case of using MC dropout, while this trend is the least seen in case of ensemble MC dropout. Going further, we in table 2 we present all the three uncertainty quantification methods results on both the validation as well as the test set, and we also present the mean dissimilarity metric for various sizes of data points in the training set. Similarly, we also present the intersection of a union metric for different kinds of data points in the training set. So in the final table, like we present here the first column here denotes the input image. The second here denotes the ground truth which is provided in the data set. The third is the predicted segmentation from our network. The fourth here is the alloteric uncertainty quantification, and the fifth is the epistemic uncertainty. So, just as a conclusion, like in this paper, we propose a new network for not only segmenting the brain tumors, but also giving the confidence while doing the segmenting. So, I think this is a really important problem to tackle. Although in this work we haven't compared a method with previous state of the art, the reason being we were not able to get uh, many works which have used this kind of architecture or have done something similar. So we just tried to do it on your own, do it on my own, and in the future we would like to extend this work for other kinds of segmentation problems in the medical imaging community. So thank you for listening, and yeah.